This is going to be a little Cayenne update. So I'm running Baja Designs Squadron Sports on the Eurowise hood brackets. These are, I actually really like these. They fit really nice. And they prop this up kind of perfectly. You just have a little tiny gap there. We're also running a Strands light bar. So that light bar, actually I bought the roof rack used from the guy who designed the Berg Peaks lift kit. Same guy I got these wheels from. Really cool dude. Now works at FCP Euro. They're great. But this light bar has essentially 3 inputs and a ground. So you have the main light, you have a daytime running light in yellow, and then you have a daytime running light in white. Now, that harness is going to come down this way. So that's just mounted. Let's see if I can show you guys. Coming down there, zip tied right there. Made a hole in the roof rack. This is a Sherpa. That, then a little strip down to a wire hider. Honestly, it might go up in size in a wire hider, but it kind of works with how this trim piece tapers. So in the future, I might try to design something that just raises this whole trim piece up and over, so then this can better match up, but it's fine. That's coming down into the passenger side corner, and it's going over top of the water seal. So what I'm going to do is cut the water seal. I'm going to have a bit of a gasket maker go around it just to prevent any water intrusion into here, because we have a couple of grounds. And the ECU, or a body control module, here. This harness is grounded here on top of this wire. So this wire still has the direct contact to the ground. There's nothing in between it and the body. Then it has this one, which is the Strands light, and then I took the Baja Designs lights, jointed those up to share that same grounding anchor point. You could also use the one down there, but to me that one's just a little bit more accessible. Then what we're doing is the powers are brought together just like they are on the Baja Designs harness. This is the power for the Strands light bar up top, and then these are the 2 signal wires for the daytime running lights. To get power to these 4 wires, I ran them from the center console. Show you guys what I made. So these 3 I'm only going to use 2 of. So these 2 are going to control the Strands and the Baja Designs lights, because these are both on 50 amps, so on breaker circuits. So that runs down through, hang on, go to the other side, excuse the mess. That runs through a grommet there. That is the most accessible grommet that you have. I have a light right down in there. So you can take a screwdriver, poke a hole in it, tie your lights or tie your wires onto that screwdriver, and then just pull them up and through. The DRL is going to run off of this harness, which was my original Baja Designs control wiring, which runs through that grommet right there. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but it's down in there. And the reason why I chose to use that one first is because it's cleaner, so you can't really notice it as much, but I still have to cut all this stuff back. It's just kind of holding it in place right now. But this one's significantly easier to use, and you can run the wiring just up against here and then control that down to the other side where we're going to tie in. Now on the inside of the car, It's going to be about as in-depth and short as I can make it. So that's where the harness is running to. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So you can see there are your 3. 1, 2, 3. And they're running up there. And for reference, right, you have this panel here, which is parallel to the brake pedal. It's also kind of directly behind the parking brake. Up and there's your boot. The other boot is located about 4 inches, I'm going to say maybe 5 inches above that white tab on that back wall right there. Now you can get to it. It just kind of sucks, and you will have to have a friend with very small hands assist you with that. Now, what I did was under the seat. So I can get this free with one hand. There we go. This is the main brake out from the battery. I have one power source that's on a 30 amp fuse, which is probably going to go down to a 15 amp fuse, to be honest. That's going to be the signal for the DRLs. Then you have the main wire that's going through a automatic breaker from Painless wiring. That is running around the back side of the battery housing. There's a split in the carpet back there. There you go. Kind of see it there. Put this back just so then get around. Okay, that's good for now. Up here, move this out of the way. Wires are going to come up through here, run underneath that, underneath there, and then into the ashtray. The reason why I'm having everything run into the ashtray is because I'm debating if it's worthwhile selling this, but this is a 2-piece housing. I'll kind of pull it apart later on, or I'll pull it apart in a separate video. But in this, I have my switches for 1, 2, and 3 relays, which are located inside the housing. So once this front face is unbolted and pulled out, then I can access my relays. I also have it that I have enough slack in these wires to where I can pull this face about a foot out before I have to undo any of the connections. This housing is 3D printed out of a carbon, but I think it's PET GCF. This printed 3D housing, 3D printed ashtray housing, fits perfectly into this lower section here. So once I have the radio back in, once I have climate control back in, well, before I put that in, I'll slot this guy in, bolt that up, make sure all my wiring in there is all nice and neat, and then should just have this face directly underneath the HVAC stuff. So yeah, so here's the final setup that I got. This is a little panel that I made. This little door, which is why this cutout's here, just so even if you're wearing gloves or something, still open and close that. You have your 3 switches. So first one doesn't do anything. Top bar, Baja lights, and then the rocker for the DRL, which I'm gonna end up tying into the Baja lights as well. So let's see, turn that off, turn this guy off. Baja lights, that's the spot corner combo top light. I don't think the video is doing it any justice, but it is very bright. And then regular car lights. So yeah, let me know. Easy enough. Hopefully that answers some questions. And I think it fits to the car. It's nice and easy. I can just slip my hand right here and have control over what I want to do. yeah, definitely suits the needs. So cheers.